All right, and we're live so far.
Doesn't say we're live.
Nope, I don't see live anywhere.
Oh,
Technical difficulties already?
we're live on Instagram, 5 people.
We're live on Instagram now? Guys, so, hey, everybody, I don't know who's out there because we can't see that, but here we are. So, welcome to the Jagged X shop, right?
Yep.
And this is the post Baja 1000 2020 recap, I guess. And we're trying something completely new. We've never done this before, so we're actually going Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and we want to tell you about our experiences down in Baja. We want to kind of tell you how it all went. So, this is new for us, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very new for us. I think we need to try and give a couple minutes to make sure everyone can get here.
Yeah, we'll see if there's anybody, if nobody watches, then it's a wrap and we're out of here. We can go eat pizza. But at this point, I mean, hopefully somebody is going to pay attention anyway. So if not, I guess it lives forever on our page. Is that right? So it lives forever.
So we've got 2 on Facebook and 20 on Instagram.
20 on Instagram?
20 on
we have 20 people already watching us?
I would have lost the bet.
Ha! We never made the bet.
No.
All right, let's make a bet right now. What do you think? So I think that total, now the question is this total, how many people, do we keep track of the people who come and leave?
Nope.
Or
People-
our high number is, how many people we have at a high number?
What do you have right now watching?
Well, I don't know.
No, yeah,
We're trying
we
to
can
make a
keep track of
bet.
that, yeah.
We're trying to make a bet. So I'm gonna bet that at our highest level we have 45 people watching. What's your number?
I'm gonna go 44.
Oh man, cancel. So it's 46, I win.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything
Well, anyway.
below that, I win.
Anyway, here's the deal. So we, obviously everybody knows, anybody who's watching knows, that we just got back from the Baja 1000. It was our only time to race in Mexico this year. We did not make the 500 because we had another commitment, but we were at the 1,000 and we conquered, to a degree, we conquered the 1,000.
Yep.
Anyway, we went to the Baja 1000. We got back on Sunday late, and yesterday was kind of a cleanup day. And we haven't cleaned everything up yet because the car sure ain't clean yet.
Nope.
And what have you been doing today?
We're gonna go back out and do some more testing.
Oh, that's true. We are. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about
We'll
that.
get back to that.
Yep, for sure. So, first of all, I personally want to thank Score International for being able to pull off this race this year, because everybody knows how challenging it's been, and we hear it over and over and over how challenging the year is. But we're in another country. We're in Mexico, and there's a whole other set of challenges down there. Score International was able to put it together and actually pull off a what I thought was really a super clean, great event.
Yep.
And I gotta thank them for their ability to be able to do that, their relationship with the Mexican government and all the agencies that they have to deal with, all the people that they have to deal with, and all the landowners that they have to deal with. And I mean, the Mexican people, they take the whole COVID thing pretty seriously. And they put together a plan, they stuck to it, and man, kudos to them. They did a great job, and the event went off without a hitch.
Yeah. Like you said, a bunch of stuff, they had to jump through a bunch of hoops.
Oh yeah.
Registration, for example, was a complete Score compound that had had no spectators. Basically, if you didn't have wristbands saying that you were supposed to be there, you weren't allowed there.
Yeah, for sure.
And they
enforced it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They enforced it. It was out of town. They made sure that
Was it
only
out
in
of
the
town?
road.
It was not not close to anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they definitely made their rules. They stuck to them. They did a really good job with that. They made sure that everyone was safe, the place was secure, and that basically that they're proving to whoever that they need to prove to that they can do this and that they'll be able to do it again.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta say, all the competitors that we saw, the off-road racers, everybody, their cooperation level was 100%. The mask compliance was 100%. I mean, I'm talking in the Score compound for sure. It was very organized. They did hand sanitizer, they did temperature checks. Like Brandon said, you weren't getting in there without the correct armband, and they had a couple of different levels of armbands. But if you weren't a driver or a team support, a critical team support person, you were not getting in there. They had police that were monitoring the whole situation, the access points at both ends, and it worked out real good. But they still had the full-blown Jumbotron setup, the whole, they still had all the film crews there, and they were able to capture all the important things that the racers really, really look forward to and that they need to be able to capture this event that is the Baja 1000. So
The only downfall is with what they had to jump through,
Yep.
there's no spectators.
Yep.
So there's
Yep.
not the fans that you
Yep.
have the. I'm sure everyone's seen the videos of going over the podium at the Baja 1000 and
Yep.
throwing out stickers and
Yep.
people touching the car and taking your picture and
Yep.
signing backs of kids' shirts and
Yeah.
all that fun
And
was.
stickers.
Yeah, exactly.
Stickers.
You missed
Yeah.
out on all that stuff
Yeah,
because
we got a lot of leftover stickers this year, so
Yeah.
for sure. So you got to understand, everybody, that the Baja is Baja, Mexico. It's their Super Bowl. I mean, this is their this is their tournament. This is the biggest thing that happens down there from a spectator standpoint. And you know what? The people down there, they look forward to it. And race day, I mean, when we got out there, the fans were out there, man. They found the places on the course, and they were able to watch the race. And so they still got to be involved in what was going on. And the government in Mexico and obviously everybody, they've taken it really, really serious, and they've got all the residents there understanding that this is a serious situation, and they're all taking precautions. And it was very notable. I mean, we saw people out that were spectators on the course that were in masks, and it appeared as though they were social distancing.
It may have been for the dust.
Yeah, could have been, yeah, because there's no limit to the dust down there for sure. But anyway, long story short, SCORE did a great job putting it all together. They did a fantastic job working with the Mexican government and everybody to pull this race off, because it could have just as easily been canceled, and we wouldn't have gotten to have any races in Mexico this year. So kudos to SCORE. Thank you very much. And we're proud and happy to have been there. So that's that part.
So next up for us is our team.
We did have a great team.
We personally brought an awesome team down there.
Yeah.
They did a great job. We had a lot of challenges that we had to overcome that we'll get to here in a little bit. But we had an awesome team that took care of everything that needed to happen, whether it was before the race, getting down there, driving trucks, driving pre-runners, anything and everything. And we had people from all over the place. We had Jesse. He's from High Lifter. He's from Louisiana.
Yep, Shreveport, Louisiana. Yep.
Jordan, he's a Polaris tech at a dealership.
Campo, Texas.
From Campo, Texas.
Yep.
We had Joe, the main maniac. He's crazy. We love Joe.
Yeah.
And
great story how we met Joe too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great story there. So go ahead.
So Joe is actually kind of a friend of ours that was kind of on his bucket list to go to the 1,000, and our buddy got a hold of us, said, "Hey, this guy wants to go."
3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah. And this guy wants to go to the 1,000.
Yeah.
And you need any help?
Yeah.
We're like, sure, why not? Never met the guy. He showed up the night before we left for the race.
Yeah.
And
Talked to him on the phone.
Yeah, a couple times. He parked his motorhome in the driveway of your house.
Yeah.
Hopped in the truck the next morning, went down to Mexico, and he's been coming with us to the
3 years,
races for the next 30
he
years.
said, "Yeah, man, it's a wicked cool, man. I want to go down there and check out this whole Baja thing, He is true full-blown Maine. So this guy's a rock bouncer from Maine, and he ran one of those crazy-ass rock bouncers that do the the hill shooter stuff. He's insane. Unfortunately, he's had probably too many concussions, and so he's a little bit but hey, he's a solid dude.
He's a Maine maniac.
Solid dude.
He's awesome.
And he was excited. This was his first opportunity to actually get in the car and actually go racing. So he was in the car as a co-driver, and unfortunately he had some motion sickness issues, so I don't think that he got the full-blown experience. He was kind of down for the count and kind of bobbing his head for quite a few miles, but you know, maybe we'll try it again with some medication or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we're gonna play around with that
Yeah,
too,
for
because
sure.
he was really excited
For
about
sure,
it.
for sure.
And like you said, I think he got the short end of
Yeah.
the stick there. So
Yeah.
we're gonna revisit that and see
Yeah.
see what we can come up with.
We had Danny Forminski here with us.
Yep.
Danny comes with us about every 1,000, really. We don't see him most of the year, but then he comes with us for the 1,000, and he's great help, great driver, really good wrench. I mean, great people.
Yep.
Bob Terpstra was with us as
Yep.
your father-in-law.
Father-in-law,
Yeah,
yeah.
father-in-law. And man, he jumped in. Anything needs to be done, he's there, 100%.
Yep.
Bill Rowe. Bill Rowe has been coming with
Mr. Santa Claus.
Yeah, Mr. Santa Claus been coming to Baja with us now for since we started Baja. Well,
Yeah.
he was part of the team when we started coming to Baja. 75 years old, solid dude. Pretty much knows every back road in Mexico.
He knows
Pretty sure.
he knows all the roads
Yep.
in Mexico.
Yep,
That's for
he
sure.
does. The man sounds like what's his name, Snowman
Yeah.
on Smoking the Bandit on the radio. I mean, he sounds clear as I don't care what radio you give him. He sounds crystal clear on the radio every time. He should be the only person who's allowed to talk on the radio.
Yep.
But he came with us. You know, he's always a lot of help, always upbeat, ready to go. Great guy.
Yep.
So yeah, you know, like I say, I can't say enough about our team. Miles was
We
the
had
co-driver.
Miles, my co-driver. He slept in the desert with us.
Yeah, yeah. getting
We
ready to
were
go.
at race
Yeah.
mile 600, and we had a long time before we saw the car,
Yep.
and he sucked it up and dealt with what we had to deal with,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
he was happy to get in the car, and
yeah.
he had a great run with me. So
Yeah.
super thankful for Miles and everything that he does for our team, and really appreciate it.
Yeah,
And then
I
Mr.
tell our
Pat.
whole team. I wouldn't Pat Stone, of course. Pat Stone's been solid with us now for how many years? I don't know. He hasn't missed a race in 6, 7 years, 5
Yep.
years, whatever. Pat is awesome. We put him in co-driver, solid. Driver, solid. Mechanic, solid. Driver, solid. It doesn't matter. He can do it all. He can do it all. And always has a smile on his face, ready to go. So, our team, fantastic, great guys. You know, I told all these guys we're at the house, this great house on the beach in Mexico. I told these guys after the race, I'm like, you know, I don't understand why you guys come back, because when you're in that truck, sitting in that chase truck, literally all night, all day, all night, and then pretty much all day again.
Yep.
Man, I tell
And
you
that's
what,
if you don't pre-run.
that's if you don't pre-run, if you don't spend 3 days before the race going down there and doing the whole thing over and over and over. So, I mean, it's hard, and quite frankly, there's some times it is boring. I mean, boring.
For sure.
But man, these guys come back and they do it again, and we cannot thank our guys enough for coming down and helping us. Guys, thank you. We love you all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so then what? Now we start the race.
Well,
You know?
we had another whole group of team that showed up.
Well, yeah, for sure. We can't leave those guys out
that
for sure.
really made the difference. We were pretty close to being understaffed.
Yeah.
We were going to
Yeah.
have just enough to make it happen for 1,000 or for a 900-mile race.
Yep.
Being all the logistics that we had to handle.
Yep.
And we actually got in contact with Dodge Coleman.
Yep.
And
Thanks to Brett Carpenter.
Yeah, thanks
our,
to Brett
our
Carpenter.
Polaris man, our man at Polaris. Yeah.
And John Hoffman.
Yep.
John Hoffman kind of oversees, I think, all Dodge's race program.
Hoffman Motorsports.
Hoffman
Yep. Over in
Motorsports.
California. Yep.
And they took us from being borderline understaffed to well overstaffed.
Having a solid
And
team.
it was a blessing.
We
really.
used them all. We
was
used everybody.
awesome.
Everybody.
It
yeah,
was awesome
absolutely.
for them to be there.
Yeah, so Dodge Coleman is a young man from Utah who races in the naturally aspirated class, races a Polaris. And we got an introduction from Brett Carpenter at Polaris, who's our man. And we kind of got a little introduction, and kind of Dodge was sort of looking for a ride in Mexico, and we were looking for a driver. And I mean, he's had lots of experience out there. He's done really well. And we're like, hey, this sounds like a good matchup. And he's got his own co-driver, Nacho.
Yeah.
Yeah, his own co-driver. And then come to find out that not only is the Dodge driver and we have a co-driver, but they're also bringing a chase truck, and they're bringing a pre-runner, and they're bringing a pre-runner razor, and they're bringing a crew. So we had a whole nother race team basically supporting us down in Baja. And we made the decision to put Dodge in off the start.
Yep.
And let him start the car fresh. That's as fresh as the car's going to be. and you know, let him have the best car that we have. He's never driven it before, and man, I'll tell you what, kid's solid.
Yeah, he's a wheel, man.
He's a wheel. He's solid.
Yeah.
And yeah, he went. He took the car from. We started in 18th position, and he took the car in 80 miles and put it, I think, in 4th physical, something like that. And unfortunately, we had a little incident.
Yep. With another car.
Another car kind of had a little bump, and at the top of a kind of a hazardous little hill, and sort of pitched our car right off into a ravine. About 50 foot down a cliff, really,
Yep.
more like it. I think we had that on our Facebook. They got a little video of it, so it was kind of down a little ravine.
So Pat was telling me a little bit about that. Pat was scheduled to get in the car next for that.
Yeah.
And so he was kind of telling me I was on the complete opposite side. I was still at our beautiful house.
Yeah, you were actually probably closer.
Yeah.
Didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know what was going on, but it was we were hanging out in the house, and I get a couple of texts from Pat, and after the race, he lets me know what's going on, and so come to find out, we were able to get a truck there to be able to pull the car up the hill again.
Yeah.
But the strap wouldn't reach from the truck.
Yeah.
So Pat
So it was
actually
50 foot plus down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Pat got a hold of a bunch of the locals that were up on the hill.
Yeah.
Called them over, and they were able to get 10 or 12 guys over there and push the car up the hill. About 10 feet to be able to get the strap close enough to be able to get
Hook it up.
hooked up
Hook the truck, get it back up on the
and
road.
get it out of a very hairy situation.
Real hairy, yeah. I mean, that could be a game ender right there. And
Yep.
you know, things all came together, but we lost some time.
Yep, for
You
sure.
know, no doubt, we lost some
That's
time.
part of racing, unfortunately.
Again, but the whole Dodge Coleman team and Hoffman Motorsports, they were on site. They had their plan for their side, which was the Pacific side, and they had all their stuff, all their assets were strategically placed to where they knew exactly.
They were
what
on
to
top.
do. They were on top of it. And so I got the text that I got, and I was completely on the other side of the peninsula. The text that I got is, Dodge is doing great. The car's in 4th position physical. And then literally 2 seconds later, we just went off a cliff.
That kind of changes your mood a little bit.
Man, you talk about a downer. That's crazy. It's like, oh, we just went off a cliff. I'm like, oh, now what? And now you can't get a hold of anybody. Oh, God, Mexico, the communication's tough. We had sat phones this time. I gotta say, that was a great idea. The Hoffman Motorsports team runs sat phones. We rented sat phones. We had them. We won't go down there again without them. It was an asset, and we'll say about that, but it made the difference between
Made a
finishing
huge
the race and not finishing the race.
For sure.
Absolutely, for sure. So
Yep.
having communication down there is super important. Anybody that's planning on racing Baja or has ever raced Baja knows how important communication is and how easy it is to get out of communication to where there's nobody. I mean, there's no way to get a hold of anybody. So, and we've been in that situation for sure. So,
Absolutely.
but anyway, so there we go. So we now we're already at race mile. They had to do a little repair after the little ditch and ditch.
Yep.
Had to do a little repair at race mile before that, it was a road crossing.
Yep.
So they made a repair at the road crossing.
Made a couple miles down the road. They got a road crossing there, and repaired
Made
some of the
little
bent up
repair.
parts from getting bumped in the corner.
Little collision.
Nothing too major.
Yeah. Yeah.
And off they went again.
Off they went. So race mile 160.
160 did
Yeah.
fuel. Really, outside of the
Yeah.
the ditch incident, they really had no issues on the
Yeah,
first leg.
and at that point, Dodge was just making up time,
Yep.
really. I mean, he was passing people again, and he picked up a few spots already. I mean, we went from, hero to zero in a short period of time. We were in 4th, and I think we were probably last turbo car on course when they pulled him out of the ditch. So anyway, he started picking them off again, and there was some attrition, of course, but he managed to get back up, and at 160, he was doing real well. Now, Pat wasn't getting in the car until race mile 302, I think
Yeah,
it was.
just over 300.
Yeah, 302. So he still had some time to go. But now it looked like Dodge was going to probably be just about in the dark.
Yep.
We didn't start till 11 o'clock in the morning. So, 300 miles in 7-8 hours, you're thinking probably. So, Pat got the car at race mile 302.
Yep.
Yep. And I was on the other side of the peninsula, so I'm on the San Felipe side, and I was posted up basically in a place where I kind of had service before I set up my pit. And Pat made it, he got, 40 miles?
40 miles.
Yeah.
And we had a catastrophic break.
Yeah, pretty catastrophic. We actually broke a suspension component, which kind of just about, I mean, fortunately it was in a spot where it was a fairly open road, and the car didn't crash, so we basically kind of spun out and realized what had happened. Close to an access road, fortunately. And,
But the parts were not.
yeah, without the BFG pit books that we have, if it wasn't for BFG, we'd have been sunk right there anyway, because the pit books that we get from BF Goodrich, basically the Baja Bible, you can't navigate without it, at least not from a chase standpoint. The course is on the GPS, so we know where the course is. That's not an issue. But knowing how to get to the course in the repair situation is a whole different story. And unless you're down there, living down there, memorizing all these roads,
Like
you
Bill
don't
Rowe.
like Bill Rowe, and yeah, there's guys that know them.
Oh, for sure.
But without that Baja pit book, we would be sunk. I mean, we use that almost all the time. So, anyway, I guess onward from there.
Yep. So we ended up. So you had the parts in your truck.
Yeah, once
on
we
the
figured out what
Symphony
was wrong,
side.
we realized that the parts were on the opposite side of the country,
So
basically.
we had a floater vehicle that
Yeah.
was with you the whole time. We were
Yeah.
able to throw the parts in your Jeep.
Yep.
Get to a crossover road, which is an
Yep.
access road between basically both sides of the peninsula, and get on that road. And
Yep.
their pre-runner truck actually
Yep.
met you halfway,
That's halfway.
or
Yep.
more than halfway.
Yep.
Grabbed the parts from you,
Yep.
took them back to their side where they could get access to the car.
Get it to the chase truck.
Get it to the chase truck. Chase truck brought it to the car.
Make
They
the
got it
repair.
fixed.
But all in all, that cost us
A ton of time.
4 hours plus. I mean, we
Yeah.
were down for 4 hours plus. And I don't know if anybody has ever, if you've been to Baja, and you know Baja, everybody knows where Valley T is because they got the best tacos, right? So the best tacos are in Valley T. But there's a crossover road from Valley T that goes back over to Highway 1, all right? That's the road that I needed to take to get those parts back over to the other side where they needed them. Now, I don't know if anybody has ever tried to find that road in the middle of the night, but let me tell you something. It is not as easy as you might think. My Jeep does not have a GPS in it, so we were basically going off of the knowledge that I knew that road was there. I'd been on it before, but all the roads out there are farm roads. They all look the same, and then they throw the race course in.
Yep.
So we're on race course, off race course, crossing race course. We're coming into pits. It was a disaster. Anyway, long story short, wasted a bunch of time trying to find the crossover road. It was unfortunate, but it did cost us more.
Yeah.
So it made it even harder.
Gotta do
So-
some homework for next time.
Yes, indeed. Well, I know where it's at now. Now I know where it's at. Hopefully, I can remember next time.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't have to do it again,
Exactly.
but I know where it's at. So,
So after
Anyway.
that, we got the car up and running.
yep, car was up and running.
100%.
100%.
Yep.
Yep.
And so we get the car up and running.
Or so we thought.
Pat gets to you,
Yeah, yeah. Got to
puts
us.
fuel in the car,
Fuel in the car.
and he takes off again.
Yeah. Well, we nursed a sick driver a little, or sick co-driver
yeah,
a little bit.
that's right.
Yeah.
So Joe's
Joe was a chumming.
motion
He was chumming a
motion
little bit.
sickness.
Yeah, he had some problems.
Yep. So
I felt bad for him.
yeah, he was
Felt bad for
struggling.
him.
He was
Yeah.
struggling. Even a couple days after, he was struggling.
Yeah, it
So-
took him a couple of days to recover.
But so, anyways, there's him, and they took off again.
Yep.
Ended up making it to us.
Yep.
Kind of the same thing. Kind of nursing the car.
At
Don't really know
600.
exactly what's gonna happen.
600.
So we sat at 600.
Yep.
Pretty much the entire time.
Yeah.
Um,
We've done it for a long
So
time.
we left the house, I think, at 2 o'clock on
Yeah.
2:30 on Friday.
Yep.
We met up with you guys at your pit.
For a little while.
Hung
Yeah.
out there, talked to you guys, see if you heard anything.
Yeah.
Because
So we gotta go.
Yeah.
They didn't have to go.
we didn't have to go.
They
We
didn't
could
have to
have.
go.
We
They
could have
could've
thrown a
hung
party
for-
out there, and
Yeah, they could have hung out there for another
Yeah.
long time.
so we get down to our pit. We find an awesome pit. Everything's great.
Yeah.
We show up, and one of the pits next to us is lighting off M80s. We didn't know they were lighting off M80s. So my whole crew is freaked out, thinking that there's gunshots going off down there. The middle of the night,
Yep.
right on the coast, on this highway. There's people all along there,
That
but
was out of
you know,
right out of Matomi Wash, right?
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, right out of Matomi Wash. That's south of San Felipe. Quite a
Yeah.
ways south
Just
of San
north
Felipe.
of Portecitos, I think.
Yeah, just north of Portecitos.
And so, anyways, we get there and
Yeah.
we're freaked out. Everyone's freaked out.
Yeah. So how much sleep do you get?
Actually, I've actually got, thankfully, because of the sat phones, I was able to get more sleep than I've gotten before my leg of 1,000 in a long time.
Because you knew what was going on.
Yeah, I knew what was going on. I had a little bit of intel,
Yep.
and quick math of, you know, best case scenario of when the car could
Yep,
be there.
that helped. Yeah,
Basically, was able to wake up an hour before the car could have been their best case scenario,
Yep.
check in, reevaluate from there,
Yep.
so on and so forth.
Yep, yep, yep.
And I actually chose the bed of the truck this time. When we got there, we were expecting to be freezing cold. It was 74 degrees when we parked.
Wow.
So it was perfect weather. So I was like, I'm just gonna sleep in the bed of the truck. Well, it got colder
Yeah.
as the
And
night went
wetter.
on. Yeah,
And wetter.
it wasn't too bad, and but it definitely got colder as the night went on. So my I didn't bring an air mattress or anything like that.
Yeah.
So my fire suit that I was using as pillow
Yeah.
became a blanket,
Yeah. Perfect.
and I used the block of wood that was holding my cooler out
That's a pillow.
as a pillow,
That's
which
awesome.
was less comfortable.
Yeah.
But that's the stuff that you do in Mexico.
That's what you do.
And we had a really good time doing it. Like I said, I had in my truck, myself and Miles, my father-in-law, Bob,
Mhm.
and I had Jordan in my truck.
I don't know about you, but I got Valley T tacos. Did you?
Nope, I missed, because we were in a hurry to get to our pit that we didn't need to get to.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah,
But we did. We got Valley T tacos, and they're awesome. They're still awesome.
yeah.
But anyway, I kept telling everybody, the guys from Texas and whatnot, and Louisiana, it's like, you got to have Valley T tacos, and they agreed once we got them that they're really, really good.
They are really
So,
good.
we got that. So. And then we also ate raviolis out of a can.
Yep.
You know, which is
The typical
and
Baja food.
And at that time, it was just as good as the Valley T tacos by that time. So
That's pretty rude to Valley Tea,
I
but
don't-
whatever.
yeah, but I don't know.
So,
it tasted pretty good.
so finally, we're checking in all morning, trying to figure out what's going on,
Yep.
and Pat shows up.
Yep.
And we're in our fire suits.
Yep.
We're ready to go.
Yep.
Ready to get in the car and hammer out the last 300 miles.
Yep. Yep.
And look at our parts again. And
we got some
unfortunately,
more problems.
we got some more problems. But
Yep.
fairly quick repair. We weren't prepared for it
Right.
coming into it because we didn't know
Yep.
what was happening.
Yep.
But we were able to get a welder out, weld up some stuff,
Had to
and
do a little welding. Yeah.
but we were able to get some weld on the car, and we got in. Everything else was fine.
Yep.
We got in. We put fuel in the car,
Yep.
and we took off. We did
Hard
our
to,
miles.
hard to imagine that we actually have to be prepared to fabricate and weld parts back together in Mexico
Yep.
during these races, because they are so long and the course is so brutal that, we actually have to be prepared to do just about anything. So, you know, we are prepared to change the transmission, we're prepared to change axles, we're prepared to weld on the car.
Yep.
Weld things back together, we're prepared for electrical issues and,
And if you know you have issues when
Yeah.
the car's coming into the pit,
It's
unfortunately where we were parked, we had very poor radio communication.
Yeah,
There's a
you
hill
don't-
right in front of us that we
you
couldn't get
don't hear
around.
the car until they literally come out of the wash, so.
So we had about a 2 mile range once they got on the highway
Yeah.
that we could hear them. So we didn't have any heads up as to what we needed to
Yeah,
fix,
yeah.
and to their knowledge, the car was still good. It was still
Yeah.
performing well.
So another heads up for Score is that the tracking system that they're using actually now is actually working really,
Yeah.
really well.
It's working awesome.
We actually got to a spot on the highway in between pits when I had seen them last where I was going next, and we actually got some decent cell phone service, and at that point we were able to use our actual cell phone internet and connect to the tracker that Score uses to track the cars. So we kind of knew what was going on, and we could see that the car was at the pit, and we could see that the car was stopped. And at that point, you're going crazy because the car stopped, and it's like, oh, that's 2 minutes. Okay, that's too long. We're doing a driver change. Okay, they shouldn't be there more than 2 minutes. That's 10 minutes. Now we're 15 minutes, and then pretty soon we're 40 minutes. It's like, what is going on? I don't want to bother them because I know they're working, but I gotta call them. I call them on the sat phones. What's going on? We had to weld some stuff up, and we're just so. Again, we lost a fair amount of time.
Fair amount of time,
Again.
for sure.
So really frustrating, but the fact of the matter is we're actually still in the hunt because we're watching other cars, and the attrition
Lot of
rate.
attrition.
Yeah, the attrition rate. I mean, there's cars getting worked on, and I mean, we actually took some of our assets down to help another racer get back on course and try and weld his car back together and get him going. And while we were doing that, we're trying to figure out where we are, and it was you help people down there, so that's kind of what it takes. Everybody wants to get to the finish, and if there's somebody there that's got a shot at it, I mean, we'll do everything we can to help them for sure. We always have. We've always done that.
Absolutely.
So and we'll always do that. So you guys left there and you wheeled from there
Yep.
pretty much.
So I had one fuel stop that I had to hit. Ended up
Yep.
being I think it was seven.
Well, it was going to be
740.
740, but our road was missing. The road washed out, or
Yep.
was, I don't know, it wasn't there. So we were able to use our radios that actually worked
Yep.
good this time, and we changed our pit to 738, I think it was.
Something like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
738, and we posted up there, and now it's light again. Now
Yep.
we're in another
Back in the
day.
daylight.
Yeah, we're back in the daylight, and I'm pretty sure I got a solid hour and a half of sleep
Yep.
all night. So
But you have Valley Tea tacos, so
I had Valley
don't feel bad
tacos.
for you.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. But
So
whatever.
driving along, all good, and we're a handful of miles out from the pit,
Yep,
and pressing the brake pedal, and all my brakes are gone.
no brakes.
No brakes. So I radio in,
Yeah,
get them prepared for that to be able to check out the brake
Yeah,
system.
yeah.
You were there at that pit to be able
Yep.
to be able to help out with
look
that.
it over. Yeah.
And show up to the pit, still no brakes, and I sit there, and I once I'm stopped in the pit, I actually have brakes. Well, apparently along the way, somewhere right a mile or so outside the pit, I
Fire.
lost an axle.
Yeah, broken axle.
The axle popped out, shoved between the knuckle and the brake caliper,
Brake caliper.
and wedged the brake caliper to where
You
it
didn't have any
kept it
brakes.
open. I didn't have
Yeah,
any brakes.
you didn't have any brakes.
Um,
Weirdest thing I've seen, because
Yep.
that axle should have just busted stuff up, and it was just lodged in there. It
Just
was
right.
Really weird. So
quick
Yeah.
quick fix. We
Yeah.
did an axle
pretty quick.
swap.
Axle swap and two
brake
calipers,
calipers.
two brake calipers,
And
and another weld job.
Yep.
Yep. So another weld job too. So and fuel
Yep.
and peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. And some water for drivers. You gotta keep the drivers. You gotta keep them up.
Yep,
So
exactly.
peanut butter and jelly sandwich goes a long way. But
So for all the things that we did at that pit, we didn't lose a whole lot of time.
No, it
that
wasn't
was
too
a pretty,
bad.
pretty fast
It wasn't
pit.
too bad. I bet we were in and out of there in, I don't know, 5-7 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So
And again, I gotta thank our crew, man. Those guys were on it. I
They
mean,
were.
Jordan knew exactly what we needed. He had it out of the toolbox, and I mean, boom, boom, we were
Hammered
in and
it
out. Yeah, it went super quick. Matter of fact, there was some Geyser Brothers guys there watching us do this whole thing, and when we were done, they were like, "Wow, that worked
Pretty
pretty
good.
awesome. You guys are that's crazy." So yeah, we felt like we knew what we were doing.
Yep.
So we're headed. That's it. Now we're done.
yeah,
Kidding.
we're not supposed to, but we're
Go to the finish.
visuals on the car from
Yeah.
then on.
Yeah, we got another. Well, we had one more visual.
We had one more visual,
opportunity, Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
took advantage of it to
Yep.
double check it, just being what we've had going on so far. I
Yep.
figured
Yep.
there's not anyone close behind us, there's not anyone really close in front of
Yep.
us. Let's put our eyes on the
Let's
car,
look at the car.
and thankfully we did.
Yep.
'Cause we had
more
another weld
welding.
job,
A little more
a little
welding.
bit welding.
Yeah, when you're welding out there, you don't get the preparation time that you normally would in a shop when you can actually.
It's a trail
you know,
fix.
Yeah, it's a trail fix. I mean, you're trying to get as much, a 110 welder running off a generator in the middle of the desert.
That
in
you
the
have
middle of the
someone
night.
holding the throttle open
Yeah,
on
it's-
just to try and rev it up a little extra,
Yeah, yeah.
make sure it
So
doesn't bog
it's-
down.
It's hard, but you get on there what you can, and hopefully it holds, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it
Sometimes
doesn't.
it doesn't.
But it held, and yeah, the last time we saw you guys was at Ojos Negros.
Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't stop there.
Didn't
Just
stop
motored
there.
through that.
From
Yeah.
there on, it's kind of graded, right? Mostly
Yeah.
graded road, and there's a little bit of stuff, but not
A lot of
much.
speed zone though too,
Yeah,
which
a lot of
is
speed zone,
so
which
you
is helpful.
kind of take that into consideration.
Yep.
But a lot of rain ruts and stuff like that. So
Mhm,
there's
mhm.
there's some stuff that could be rough on the car if you make a wrong turn or
Sure.
wrong line or something
Sure,
like that. But
yeah.
but we knew that we needed to get the car to the finish.
It turns
So
out some other people didn't make that section. 'Cause
Yeah.
you
We passed
found
the guy
a couple
right-
people that was
right
broke
at
in
the
that-
very end
in
there.
that section. So yeah, it can happen at the
But-
end. So I've seen guys. I've a good friend of ours, Wayne Matlock, several years ago, was leading the race all the way to the very end, and actually had something go dreadfully wrong, just like 4 miles from the finish. And you just never know, man. You got to work. You got to work to the very last minute of the race. So
me and Miles brought it to the finish line.
yep.
He did a great job. He kept me on course and kept me informed as to what was going on,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kept you guys informed of what was going on, and made sure that
Yep.
we were where we needed to be and when we needed to be there, and
Yep.
we
We
sure
weren't-
that we're still moving.
At the finish line, we weren't really sure where we finished. We had no idea. We knew that we kind of knew how many cars had finished ahead of us, but we really didn't know where we were. And as it ended up, I guess when everything was sorted out, we ended up 7th place. 24 cars started our class, which was, given the circumstances, they're the largest class.
Yeah, for sure.
Largest class in score, including all the trophy trucks and so on. I mean, the Pro Turbo class was definitely the largest class. So we had 24 cars in our class. We finished 7th, and you know what? Actually, given our circumstances, we're pretty happy with that. Pretty proud of that. And you know, long story short is, you know, hey, we finished Baja. We got that done. We did it again.
There's a lot of people that, I think there was 9 total in our class that
It was
finished.
9 finishers and I think 15 DNFs. So, and the problems that those guys have range from, you know, blown
Everything.
motors,
Everything you can
suspension,
imagine.
clutches, you name it. It's endless as to how hard Baja is on these cars and on all of them.
Yep.
The finish rate in the trophy trucks wasn't very good.
Yep.
The finish rate in the class 1 cars was not very good. So Baja's hard, and anybody that thinks it's not needs to come on down and join us, because I'm telling you, it's tough.
It'll try your patience.
It'll try your patience. It'll definitely
Try
it'll
your
test your
equipment.
skills and everything else. So, and your stamina.
Yep.
Your stamina for sure.
So all said and done, it was 31 hours,
Yeah, about 31 hours in the car.
and
Yep.
we were the only team in the UTV class to not have in the pro, the forced induction class,
Yeah,
to
in our
not have a
class.
penalty.
Yeah, only team that finished with no penalties, which very, very proud of my guys, because that means that they are doing their homework, they're paying attention, they're staying on course. My navigators, I mean, I gotta hand that to the navigators, really.
For sure.
I mean, that's, you know, speeding violations, VCP violations. There was 350 plus VCPs
Yeah.
in this race. So a VCP is a spot in the middle of space, basically, that car has to cross through, if you don't know what that is. And they put these strategic spots out there to basically keep people from cutting course. Well, you have to pass through that within the 100 feet, 150 feet, something like that.
60 feet.
Some of them,
on either
yeah,
side.
they're different, yeah, they're exact, I think it's 120 feet. So yeah, you gotta cross right through that spot in space, and the tracker knows when you're there, but there's not a sign there that says, come here, this is the VCP. It's just a spot in space. So if you're on course, you're gonna hit them all. If you're not on course, you're gonna miss them. Well, it's a 10-minute violation for missing a VCP. So that can add up pretty quick. So the fact that our navigators were able to get the car to every VCP and make sure that they kept our driver on course and hit all those that
It's a task.
says a lot.
It's
That says
definitely a task.
You know, being a navigator is not just being a rider in a race car. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
And it's
it's-
thankless. It's
it's
for sure it's
very-
thankless, yeah.
But
But-
it's a tough job.
No penalties, got to the finish line. Congratulations to Wes Miller.
Yeah.
You know,
Awesome run.
he won it. I mean, he had some problems too. I understand that he was in one of the pits where our guys were set up, worked on his car quite a bit. I know for a fact he was battling with some other guys, some other teams, but you know, pulled it out, had a great finish. Overall, the UTV class,
Yep.
and won the class, and put Polaris in a winning spot, I think 8 years in a row.
Yep.
For sure, it's 8 years in a row.
The Baja 1000.
Yeah, Baja 1000, 8 Polaris wins in a row. Super proud of that. Proud of Polaris. Proud of all the Polaris teams. That is an accomplishment right there, and we got nothing we can't. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Proud to be a part of
Yeah,
that.
Absolutely proud to be a part of that for sure. So, and then the other thing that we want to talk about that is, I don't know how many people have done it, but so we've been racing in Baja now since 2013.
Yep.
Right? We have not missed a score race, with the exception of the 500 this year was the first race that we didn't show up at. But since 2013, we've raced every score race. We've completed every mile of every one of those races. We have had no DNFs. We have not finished a race in Baja since we started racing in Baja. We as a team are extremely proud of that. We want to keep the streak going, and we got to thank our team for that, because that's what really makes it, especially in this race. We proved it. It's the team that gets it there. The drivers do their part for sure, but it's the team that gets that finish, really. So, you know, we are super proud of that. We're super proud of Polaris for their entire platform that allows us to do that. And, you know, we're going to keep going. I'd like to see that we keep that streak going as long as we possibly can. So, you know,
Huge accomplishment.
absolutely. So now, hopefully next year, looking forward to next year a little bit, is hopefully have a full season.
We
know,
should.
There was
And-
only 2 races this year in Mexico.
Yep.
So,
So hopefully, maybe things will get back to normal. And maybe a new style of normal.
yeah, maybe,
But
maybe people are making changes. So.
but hopefully we get to go racing, and we get to race a whole score series next year, and we get to unveil an awesome lineup for everyone.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna be, and
yeah. There's some new things next year for sure. There's some new things in store, and we're gonna try and involve ourselves in that a little bit. And so we'll have more news on that as time gets, as everything kind of gets ironed out. But yeah, next year is gonna be super exciting for us, and we're absolutely looking forward to it. Can't wait to get out there. This year hasn't been the greatest year for us, really. I mean, results-wise.
Yep.
But we finished a lot of races. We've had a couple of issues where we couldn't finish a race, but to finish this race in Mexico was huge for me. For sure. I know for you. I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know what else to say about
with
that.
our new car, we're still working out a couple bugs, but we're definitely getting to the bottom of them. And the 2021 season for sure is.
And this car has already proved. It's proved to me anyway that this is a podium car for sure. I mean, it's run up front in just about every race that we've raced until it didn't. Until we've had these problems that we've had to sort out. But so the car can do it. I know my drivers can do it. I know our team can do it for sure. So it's just a matter of it's all got to gel. It's all got to come together. But we'll be there for sure. So I guess realistically, we got people to thank. That's what it comes down to, is the people that we got to thank for this whole
really
process.
Our sponsors, the guys that are behind us that help us out immensely. Obviously, Polaris Industries first and foremost.
100%.
They give us
100%.
the best platform to build off of.
Yep.
This car is kind of a hybrid.
Yep.
We're taking part of one car, part of another, and meshing together the best of both worlds.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we're making a product that we feel is the best car out there.
Yep. Absolutely.
So huge thanks to Polaris Industries for
Yep.
everything that you guys do.
Since day one of Razor.
Yep.
Since
2007.
2007 first Razor. Polaris. We partnered with Polaris. Polaris partnered with us more than anything. And you know what? It's been a great ride. We love those guys. Everything they do. They're innovative. They keep making good products, new products. They keep breaking ground every year, and can't say enough about everything that they've done for us and all the help they've given us. And being part of their whole Razor program has just been an experience like no other. So I gotta say that for sure.
Absolutely.
So who else? I mean, BFG.
BFG for sure.
BFG, and not only BFG, not only for their tires, which we get tire support from them, but not only what they do for tires, but what they do for the sport, Score in particular in Baja. Nobody else does this. Nobody else can come close to what they do. The homework that they do, the pit books, the pit support. If you run on BF Goodrich tires, whether you get them for free or somebody buys them for you, or you have to pay full retail price, if you're on BFG tires, you get BFG pit support, and no questions asked. And when I say pit support, I think that they had, how many pits did they have? 6, 7 pits?
Something like that. Yeah.
So the whole Baja 1000 course was literally staffed with BFG people. And I don't mean guys with gas cans to just pour gas in your car. I mean full
semis.
shops, semis, welders, tools, mechanics, lights, everything, radio communication. Their BFG relays, it's like no other.
It's like a whole nother weatherman.
It's almost as good as having a satellite phone in the middle of nowhere, because you can use BFG relay. They can relay messages to your team anywhere, basically within the range. I mean, the weatherman was talking to Glamis while we were on course, telling the people that were tuning in Glamis to get off the radio. BF Goodrich has the same problem, and so, but they have radio coverage throughout the whole peninsula. Basically, while you're racing, they're there for you, and they don't leave until the race is over. They are there the whole time, and we thank them for that.
For sure.
We thank them for that, and their pit books are fantastic. We couldn't do what we did without them. So, you guys, BFG, I mean, come on, really, you guys are the best, for sure. Fox Shocks.
Another one is Fox Shocks.
Yep.
We're running a new system on our car that
Yep.
we haven't ran in the past.
Yep.
And it's a live valve setup.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we have adjustability within the car.
Yep, on the fly.
We can flip a switch on the dashboard. We have a pucker button right there in the steering wheel
Yep.
that
Yep.
you can press in a case of emergency. You see a big G out or something like that. Meet with those guys to tune. They've got their hands on our shocks.
Yep. Service.
They service them. They tune them for us.
Yep.
They troubleshoot anything that we have going on.
Yep.
They are
They've been
awesome guys. Awesome guys to deal with.
Yep.
If we have a tight turnaround, they work with us on getting parts shipped back and
Yep.
forth to us. They're on top of their game.
Yep.
They're the best in the business for sure.
Yep.
And man, they make our car ride like a cloud.
Yeah.
Our car is working so good.
Good stuff now. Yeah, good stuff for sure.
So I'm super happy to be on board with them and everything that they do for us. You guys nailed it, and I can't wait to see what comes out in the future.
Yep, what the future holds. Yep. Casey highlights. Here we go. We raced literally all night.
Yep.
I mean, before it was dark until way after it was light. I mean, we
Yep.
finished in the middle of the day. So the lights in Baja. I've always said that Baja is the darkest place in the world at night, and there's a reason for that, because there's no light pollution out there. There's no headlights. There's no car lights. There's no buildings. There's no street lights. It's dark. It's dark. And our KC lights, they light it up, man. They were never short on light. They've been great to work with. Super great support, and we can't thank them enough. We've been on board. They take care of our chase trucks. They take care of our play cars. They take care of our race cars. It's been awesome. And they've jumped in on Geoscore too to help out, which is really cool. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute, but yeah, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, they're great to work with, great guys. They love the whole Baja thing and the whole lifestyle in general, the whole UTV lifestyle. They're in it. They're in it to win. Polarislubricants.
Yep.
I mean,
They're awesome. Great support from those guys.
Yeah, since day one. Day one, yeah.
We trust their products
absolutely.
with our car,
Yeah,
obviously.
these guys, they
they're the
engineer.
blood.
Yep, they engineer everything that they make specifically for Polaris stuff, and it's top notch
For sure.
Everything is done in Minnesota. I mean, it's all.
We actually got a chance to tour their facility, and
Super cool.
they showed us stuff that I didn't know
Yeah.
what kind of testing they were doing.
Yeah, you think oil is oil, right?
Yeah.
Oil is not oil.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not
So
true.
they definitely do their homework,
Yep.
and they have awesome product
Yep.
and awesome quality control. Everything
Yeah,
about their
everything.
whole system.
It's
I mean,
fantastic.
that
Yeah.
facility just blew my mind.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
crazy,
it was
crazy.
out of control, and those guys are awesome to deal with,
Yeah.
and we love being part of their team, and hopefully.
OMF Wheels, can't say enough about them.
Yeah.
OMF Wheels, we've been on OMF Wheels since we started racing. Any wheel that can survive what we put it through is without a doubt just it's bulletproof, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess all I can say is it's bulletproof.
Yep.
Their service is great. They've done redesigned stuff for us when we've made changes and re-engineered their parts specifically for us. And I mean, who would do that? But they do, and they step up to the plate every time. They get us what we need when we need it. And I mean, Tim Orchard, owner of OMF, great guy, great friend of mine for years and years, Uncle Tim.
Yeah.
Super guy, super great deal. Tim, Bones. Hey, they're solid guys. OMF Wheels, the best thing you could put your tires around for sure. So there's no doubt about that. Factory UTV.
These guys take a beating,
Take a
right?
beating.
So it's a product.
Literally.
It's a product you can't see
Yeah.
from looking at the side of the car.
Yep.
It's what protects the bottom of our car.
Yep.
It is
From Baja.
from any race.
Yeah, from any race.
And this stuff literally just gets drugged through the dirt
Yeah.
for 31 hours straight.
Yeah.
The car doesn't shut off, and it just gets drugged through the dirt and
Yeah,
beat up
dragging
and
it
just
through rocks and dirt
just
and cactus.
nasty,
and everything.
nasty stuff. And
Yep.
it gets mud and rocks and sand and everything on it, and it just holds up.
Yep.
It just takes it, and it smiles,
Yep.
and it's happy to do so.
And when we peel them off, all the stuff underneath looks good.
Yep.
And that's what's important.
They do.
They protect the undercarriage. They protect all the parts
Awesome,
that keep the
awesome
car
stuff.
running. So that's huge. Cognito suspension, been great for us. We've been running their stuff now just for this last year and this year, and innovative stuff. We want to, can't say enough about the fact that he's building stuff out there to go win Baja. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the deal.
exactly.
He runs it on his own car. Justin Lambert runs the stuff on his own car. Yeah, it's good. It's great, and makes our car ride good. Big, heavy, strong stuff, and that's what it takes for sure. PRP,
They're the comfort behind the seat.
they are, and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Lot of
we got big old plush, comfy seats in the car, And
What did Dodge say about Dodge said? He's like, wow, this is like sitting on a love seat.
it is. It absolutely is. I love those seats.
Of course, he's a skinny little
Yeah,
guy.
for sure.
You know, so.
But more than just seats, they do seat belts. They made our window nets.
Yep.
They do door bags that are awesome. That
custom,
we
they
send them
custom built
templates for that, and they put bags where we want them.
Yeah.
Hydration packs. We put parts in there, tools in there, anything and everything in there.
Peanut butter
Snacks.
jelly sandwiches.
Exactly. You got to have snacks in
name it.
Baja.
Yeah.
So anything and everything you need, put in them. They're right there, just a zipper away, and you have
Great place
access to it.
Great place to put your stuff.
Yeah, most people don't know that. You can put your things in there.
Yeah.
So PRP, huge thanks to you guys. Been on board with us for a long time too.
Yeah, they're great guys.
And they're
Yeah.
awesome
Absolutely.
guys. So
Erin Wedeking,
Yep.
his daughter is racing naturally aspirated class,
Yep.
and she does a great job.
Yeah, she does.
awesome. Yeah, she's fast, super great family.
Yep.
Great family. We love working with them. They're great people. And then Highlifter, man, our friends down in Louisiana.
so Highlifter was on board with Polaris right when we were.
Yeah.
So
they're
they've
been a
been
Polaris
around.
partner since 2007, just like us. And yeah, I mean, they built all kinds of crazy products. I mean, these guys they're mud guys from Louisiana, and now they're desert guys out here in Arizona and California and wherever. They're coming to the desert, and you know what? They're gonna build some products that are gonna blow your mind. Good stuff. They've got a huge manufacturing facility in Shreveport, Louisiana. And Jesse, our team guy, man, he's their head prototype guy. And again, can't say enough how helpful they've been. Great friends. They put on an event down in Louisiana, Mud Nationals, like nothing you've ever seen before. If you ever get a chance to do that, go to Mud Nationals, sponsored by Highlifter.
Add it to your bucket list.
Add it to your bucket list. It's like doing the Baja 1000 on steroids. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Great people. We love them to death. And I mean, that's a wrap for our sponsors. I mean, these guys are all, we couldn't do it without any of them, and we love them all to death. And God, we hope they stay on board with us, and we love them. And man, that's I can't say enough.
Yep, absolutely.
So, well, I don't know how many people watch this, but I think we're about to call it a wrap.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Absolutely.
Pretty sure we've been at it almost an hour now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people are tired of listening to us, so.
You owe me $1, by the way.
How so?
You told me I was going to be done in 2 minutes, and I'm
Well,
still sitting here, and it's not
Maybe.
over
I
yet.
don't know, and we don't know, well, you may owe me $1 back because we don't know how many people watch. So, hopefully it's more than 2.
Yeah.
Ashley
But-
just said, and thank you to all the wives.
Oh, thank you for all the wives.
Yes, yeah, that's another
That
thing.
is
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
true.
We all have families. We all have families, our racing families, our kids, our grandkids, our wives, our friends. You know, these guys, they're all fans, and they tolerate us. You know, late nights at the shop, multiple late nights at the shop.
Being away from home for long periods
Yep.
of time.
Yep. And they're supposed to understand when we say we need to go test, and they think we're really just goofing off, and realistically, we actually are doing some work.
Yep.
I don't understand why they tolerate it, but we love them for it, and we hope they keep doing it, because obviously this is our passion, we love it. So, you better thank Ashley.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching.
Yep.
And
Thank everybody for watching.
absolutely.
Absolutely. If you watched this, we thank you.
Yep.
And if you watched it and somebody you know didn't, tell them that if we do this again, that they should watch, because it's awesome. Because you know, we think it's awesome.
Good
Well,
stuff.
guys, that's a wrap. Oh, one more thing.
Uh-oh. But wait, there's
Wait,
more.
but wait.
Billy Mays is here.
Wait for it. Thank you to Sebastian.
Yep.
Sebastian Cruel has been doing our social media now for a month or so. He jumped on with us, and he is killing it. Instagram, Facebook, photo shoots, on-site content, live content. I mean, our biggest problem was nobody pushed us to do this. He pushes us to do this stuff. It's important. We know how important it is.
Yep.
But it's easy to just kind of not do it, but he won't let us not do it. And so, Sebastian, thank you. It has made a huge difference. I hope everybody pays attention, watches. Let's keep doing this, man. 2021, let's go get this. Let's go do it.
Is that a wrap?
Yeah.
Wrap!